Hello Sim Rally fans and welcome back to Rally Technical with me, John Clark, and to another project setups video. However, there is a slight tweak to the format and the amount of setups available. I've gone for a more generic approach, giving you a generic asphalt setup, dry and wet, gravel setups, dry and wet. Gravel setups will come in different spring and damper settings of soft, medium and firm. There will also be a snow setup, and there's only one specific setup, which is the Monte-Carlo winter. So as you can see from the stage footage, the car in question is the Toyota Yaris Rally2. It has been eagerly awaited by many of us, and honestly, you're in for a treat. It is going to be a highly competitive car from what I've seen so far of it. Codemasters reckon it has 300 brake horsepower. However, I could not find a single statistic on the internet about the performance of the engine. Nothing, nada. So I've got a question mark next to the 300 brake horsepower. I don't even know where the 300 brake horsepower is at its peak. I don't even know how much torque it's got or where the peak torque kicks in. All I can tell you with any certainty is change gear when your white RPM gauge turns red. That's all. So this will be the part where I would talk about history, but the Toyota Yaris Rally2 is new for 2024 as well. So all I can say is what you already know. It has won 5 rallies across two different drivers. And the season isn't even finished. That is majorly impressive for a car in its debut season. Toyota have done a cracking job with it, I must say. In terms of the default setups, it had been noted that it suffered from on-throttle understeer and excessive oversteer under braking. It also felt like it lacked on corner speed, with the default setup being too high and the camber being set too low. So this will be the point where I talk about the history of whatever car is featured, but the Toyota Yaris Rally2 is new for 2024. There isn't much history and you've probably seen it all. The Yaris Rally2 so far out of 10 rallies has won 5 by 2 different drivers, which is a 50% win ratio in its debut season, proving that it is just as good in the real world. So let's move on to the pros and the cons of using this car in EA Sports WRC. The pros: it is a very stable drive. It's front engine, 4-wheel drive. It grips and grips and grips. Over the bumps, once it's set up correctly, it is stable, same as the jumps. Hairpins are a dream. Going uphill, downhill on corner entry. It handles, it takes it all. It literally does everything you ask of it once you've got it set up to your driving style. The cons, however, is the front bumper of this car. I don't know what Codemasters were thinking, but the front bumper on this car is made out of something unnatural. If you run this car too soft and too low for what you're trying to do, for example, in this footage here, straddling 2 wheels on the grass, on a raised grass verge, it appears that even a blade of grass can stop this car dead in its tracks from 100 miles an hour. Right, so let's move on to the setup overview. What you can see here is where each setup has been created and the recommended locations for each setup. It's not a hard and fast rule. I will say that is just my best guess, because in order to run one car at every location at every stage will take a monumental amount of time. So I've got to slim it down somehow, but the setups on those specific stages on the screen, they're absolutely golden. You may have to make tweaks along the way. So let's move on to the leaderboard. Now, seeing as this is the first car, there's only one time on there, but you can see what the gist is. I'm going to put down every single time from every single setup I create for the stage, and then I'm adding them all up to give a total time. When I add more cars to the leaderboard from Rally 2 or any other category, they're all coming into one. We're going to find out which is the fastest car in the game overall and which is the fastest car in each category. And it should be noted, I got access to this car a week before it was officially released a couple of days ago. So I have been able to run this. However, Codemasters kind of messed up the licensing a little bit. And didn't actually allow us to upload any times to the leaderboard or give me access to 2 new locations either. So I actually haven't been able to try them out, but my best guess is they're going to be the gravel firm setup. So if you're running these setups that you're about to see in season mode, quick play, or the online multiplayer clubs, you will need to make adjustments, as all the setups in this video were created in time trial mode with the exception of the Monte-Carlo winter setup. As such, they are optimized for the softest tyre compound available at each location in the summer season. In order to maximize the grip levels for each tyre compound, you will have to adjust the anti-roll bars, brake pressure and differentials for the gravel setups. For asphalt setups, you will have to adjust the camber as well. So if you're intending to run these setups on different tyre compounds and any stage degradation higher than medium, you're more than likely to experience issues with performance. That's in the way of understeer, oversteer. You will be locking the brakes and you will more than likely bottom out if you're running high levels of deg on a stage. Only use these setups as a starting point to build upon your own. However, if you are intending to only run these setups in time trial mode, hunting for your own personal best, then you are in for a treat. And that's all from me. Here come the setups you've been waiting for. I'll see you in the next one.